I finished going all the way around and adding all of my crystals, and I'm exiting out the top bead on one of the sides. Now, I think it sets better, the two pieces on top of one another, if you put the side that has the single bead face down. So you put that on the bottom, and these crystals tend to show a little bit better on this side. So you want the single bead down on the bottom, and the same way you're going to want the single bead against your piece here, because we're going to connect these, and if you connect them this way you're going to have a lot of thread showing. So you want to lay them down so that the single bead is against the desk or workspace or whatever you're using. Now, in order to connect these, we're going to connect this single bead on the red with the two beads down here. So we've got to position our thread down that way. So the easiest way to do that is going to be going through, and I'm going to go through this gold one and then I'll come back through. Now I want my thread going out this way, so I'm going to come back through and around until I come out on this side. So I'm coming through here. So I'm going to come around this way because I can pull that down and you see it sinks right in there. And now I can go through the single bead. And again, I'm doing that because the thread's right next to it and it won't show. And now I'm going to go through the other double bead. There we go. We'll get through here. There. All right, now we pick up our red and we go through the single bead. So we have a single bead right here. And we're going to connect the single bead and we're going to go back up through this double. So we want to go through the double bead. Need a little patience going through these beads because we've gone through them a number of times and they can be a little tight. And we're going to come back down this one again. Now I have a thread here that I'm going under, and I'm going to take my thread and I'm just going to go on the other side of that thread there. And then I'm going to go through the single one more time. Okay, so you want to have gone through the single bead on this one twice. So we go up and around twice. Now we've got to get over to this side. You can try and weave your way over, but we've weaved through these beads a number of times. So I'm going to actually drop this down, my needle down in between these beads, these triangle, and I'm going to push it until it comes out the other side. And when I pull that, now if I look really close, I can see that there's a thread here that I came out underneath, and I'd rather be on the other side of that. So I'm just going to take my needle, because now I can position that wherever I want. There we go. And now I can go through the single bead, and I can go through, we're on the left side, so we want to go through the left side of the double. And then we want to come down the one that's right next to it. And we're going to go through the single again. See, now this sits very close and very flat. So, and the reason we're doing the doubles and the single is because there's a single right underneath it. So it looks, the pattern looks the same. I could have tried going through the single and the single, but you wouldn't have seen the same pattern. So that's why we're doing it this way. And I'm going to go back through this. I want to go through these twice. So I need to go back through this single. It loosens up a little bit, but as you go through a second time, you can tighten up the thread. And we want to pick this one up again. We're going to go through the single, and we're going to drop down. I'm going to do what I just did a minute ago. We're going to drop down underneath this and push out until we come out. Now my needle's a little bent too, so that's another reason I might be coming out a little lower, a little further below where I want to be. Where I really want to be is underneath these threads here, so that I'm kind of coming out in the center. I want to be kind of coming out in the center there. I was underneath this thread. So I want to really come out in the center, not underneath this thread on this side. So that's why I did that. And hopefully that won't be too blurry. So I finished going all the way around and attaching our end points of our front and our back. And we're coming out the top bead on the front, smaller, of the hexagons. And I have to get up to these two beads so that I can add the bale that I want to here. So I'm going to just weave my way back through. I'm coming out the top bead on the right. So I'm going to pick up two beads. I'm going to go down the bead to the left, and then I'm going to come round and go back up through the two beads that are now on the right. If I use my thumb to pull this down, all right, so that forms the beginning of my herringbone stitch. I'm going to pick up two more gold. Now, I will put a red one on in between when I come back, but I'm going to come back and strengthen this so I don't have to do it on this pass. So I'm going to come back and I'm going to go through here again. And I'll pull this down to tighten it. Now this time I'm going to pick up a red bead. So I'm picking up two. We'll go down. Now this time we pick up a red bead and we'll come back up to, we'll go back up two. So I went down one, come back up two. Just like that. And I'm going to continue and pick up two more. Down one. Get those straight. Pick up a red bead and go up two. I'm going to work my thumb to keep these red beads straight and pull these other ones tight. I missed the gold bead. So come up the second one. All right, there. So we keep on doing this until we've put on 11 red beads. I've now added my 11 red beads, and what we want to do next is connect this to the back. So the thread should become, my thread is coming out on the right hand side. So if your thread's coming out on the right hand side, you want to go down to the double beads on the right and start from the inside and go to the outside on the right hand side bead and bring that down, and then go through the center bead just below that so that the thread won't show, and come back up the other side. So you want the bead on the other side, following your thread path, and then go up this one bead there. So the first bead, go through the remainder of these gold beads. We're going to go loop around again because we want to reinforce this. So we're going to come around and go through all of the gold beads. I'm having a little hard time getting in there. Okay. You probably won't be able to do them all at once, so just do as many as you can and pull them tight. All right, now we're going to add the one red bead that we didn't add in the very beginning. So we're going to bring this down, coming across. We didn't go all the way down to the ones that are attached to the pendant. So we want to just come around the ones that we added, so that slips in there right between the two red beads that are part of the pendant. And we're going to go back around again. Now we're coming up the other side. So you want to come down, not to the very last one, but the one before it. And then we're going to add our red there we go. That'll slip into place. Now I also want to, I'm going to come back around through the center bead because I want to come back down and reinforce the attachment point. So we'll go through this red one, and I'm going to come down all of these, plus the one on the pendant. And I'm going to go through the single bead again because I don't want the thread to show. Those two beads sitting right next to one another are kind of slanted. So we'll go through this bead. And then we can reattach here. Okay. And that's the pendant and the bale. And at this point, I'm just going to tie these off. So I'll come back across here. I just want to get rid of the thread. And We'll go through here. I'm reversing the direction. It doesn't want to reverse on that bead. See if I can reverse it in this direction. Well, I'm going to go through one more and I'll just snip it. Try one more time. They're too far on the inside. Okay. So if you liked the video, please like and subscribe.